All right, get your pickaxes ready, because today we're diving into Terraria.
Oh, yeah.
You know the game, you probably heard all the hype.
Right.
But trust me, there's way more to this 2D world than meets the eye. We're going way beyond. It's like 2D Minecraft, which, by the way, we will get into all that.
No.
And really figuring out what makes this game and its crazy dedicated fan base tick. And it seems like you came prepared. This Wikipedia article is shockingly detailed.
It really is. Wow. It's like a treasure trove of information, isn't it? Even for someone like me who's, spent countless hours in that pixelated world, I'm seeing new details, new connections I hadn't even noticed before. This is great.
That's what I love about these deep dives. So for those listening who maybe haven't, spelunked into the caves of Terraria yet, on the surface it seems, I don't know, pretty straightforward, right?
Yeah.
You explore, you craft, you build, you fight.
Yeah.
Classic sandbox stuff.
Right, for sure.
But it's like, how do those simple ingredients come together to make something so uniquely captivating?
It's all about how those elements kind of like interact and amplify each other, especially with that 2D perspective. Think about the Wall of Flesh.
Yep.
One of the game's like iconic bosses.
Yeah.
It's this massive, grotesque wall of, well, flesh, obviously,
Right.
that chases you across the underworld.
Oh, wow.
You have to navigate this like fiery hellscape, dodging projectiles, summoning your own allies to fight back.
Whoa.
The 2D perspective, it actually enhances that intensity, forces you to master these like really precise movements and strategic thinking.
See, this is what I'm talking about. You're not just like hitting things until they disappear. There's real strategy involved. It reminds me of those classic platformers where timing and positioning were like everything.
Totally.
And you touched on something really interesting there, summoning allies.
Yeah.
It's not immediately obvious just from looking at screenshots, but Terraria has this whole class system
Yes.
that lets you really tailor your playstyle.
Exactly. You can be a heavily armored warrior, wielding this flaming sword, or you can be like a nimble ranger, peppering enemies with arrows. Or you could be a powerful mage, like controlling the elements.
Right.
And the best part is you're not locked into one path. You can switch things up on the fly, which adds a whole other layer of depth and experimentation to the gameplay. It's really cool.
It's like you're saying you had this whole toy box of playstyles,
Yeah.
and you just get to combine them however you want.
And that's not even getting into like the world itself.
Right.
You mentioned procedural generation, and that's where Terraria truly shines.
Okay.
Every world you generate is unique, with its own layout of biomes and caves and treasures.
Great.
You might, stumble upon this sprawling underground jungle teeming with all these bizarre creatures.
Wow.
Or a floating island filled with starlit ores. You never know.
Okay. That's cool and all, but what does that actually mean for the gameplay experience? Is it just like a different wallpaper each time, or does it genuinely change how you play?
It's about that thrill of discovery.
Okay.
Imagine this. You're exploring this, I don't know, this vast underground cavern, right? And you stumble upon this glowing mushroom biome.
Look.
Yeah, it's like unlike anything you've ever seen before.
Wow.
Giant glowing fungi, these strange bioluminescent creatures.
Oh.
And then you quickly realize that the resources here, they allow you to craft these like unique and powerful potions,
Oh, wow.
giving you an edge in combat.
I see.
That's the beauty of Terraria's procedural generation. It constantly surprises you with these unexpected challenges and rewards.
So it's less about following a set path and more about forging your own adventure.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And speaking of forging, we have to talk about the crafting system.
Oh, yeah.
One of my personal favorite aspects of Terraria. I mean, the Wikipedia article lists hundreds of items.
I saw that, yeah.
But what's really impressive is how the crafting system itself is designed. Take the Zenith, for example. That legendary sword you mentioned.
Yeah.
Crafting it isn't just about gathering the right materials. It's about conquering the entire game.
Wait, really? Tell me more.
Yeah. To craft the Zenith, you need components from almost every other powerful weapon in the game,
Wow.
each representing a different stage of your progression.
Oh, wow.
It's like the game itself is acknowledging your journey, your triumphs over these challenging bosses and treacherous environments.
I see.
You're not just crafting a weapon, you're crafting a legacy.
Wow, that's actually really cool. It's like a tangible representation of your progress and skill.
Exactly. And it just speaks to the game's depth, right?
Yeah.
You might initially be drawn in by the simple charm, the accessible gameplay, but then you discover these incredibly intricate systems and mechanics that keep you hooked for hundreds of hours.
Totally.
And let's not forget about the community.
Oh, yeah.
Remember those 44.5 million copies sold?
Yeah.
That translates to a massive, passionate community of players.
44.5 million players. That's got to be like, what, a small country?
Practically.
It's incredible. And they're all, part of this living, breathing world,
Yeah.
sharing tips, building incredible things,
Right.
and probably rocking some seriously stylish gear.
Oh, for sure.
Speaking of which, the customization aspect of Terraria shouldn't be overlooked.
Right.
It might seem like a small detail, but I feel like it plays a huge role in the game's appeal.
Absolutely. Remember how we were talking about crafting your legacy
Yeah.
through weapons like the Zenith and everything? Terraria takes it a step further by letting you, express that legacy visually,
Okay. Yeah.
Want to be a knight in shining armor? You got it. How about a pyromaniac in a lava-proof tuxedo? Go for it.
Oh, nice.
The sheer variety of armor, vanity items, dies. It's astounding. You can truly make your character yours.
I've seen some of the crazy builds people come up with, too.
Oh,
It
yeah.
always blows my mind. It's like they're playing a different game than I am.
Yeah.
Speaking of different, we got to address the elephant in the room, right?
Okay.
The Minecraft comparisons.
Ah, yes.
Some people call Terraria a 2D Minecraft clone,
Right.
which honestly, I kind of get it. On the surface, they share some DNA for sure.
Yeah.
But having dug a little deeper here,
Mm-hmm.
it feels like, I don't know, a massive oversimplification.
Yeah, I agree.
What do you think?
It's a very superficial comparison, for sure. While both games offer freedom and creativity, Terraria really carves its own path.
Okay.
That focus on combat, the intricate boss fights, that sense of progression,
Yeah.
these are all elements that set it apart, for sure.
Yeah. It's like comparing a sprawling fantasy novel to like one of those choose your own adventure books.
Yeah.
Both can be enjoyable, but they offer wildly different experiences.
Totally.
And Terraria has definitely carved its place in gaming history. I mean, we're still talking about it years later.
Right.
And there's clearly a ton of passion for this game still.
Oh, yeah.
What do you think the future holds for Terraria?
Ooh, that's a good question.
The Wikipedia article mentioned Terraria 2 and Terraria. Otherworld.
Yeah.
Although, sadly, it seems like Otherworld is no more.
Yeah. It's always sad when a promising project gets shelved like that,
Right.
but it speaks to the developer's commitment to quality,
Yeah.
They'd rather cancel a game than release something that doesn't meet their standards.
Totally.
As for the future, who knows what adventures await in Terraria 2? A new engine opens up a world of possibilities,
Right.
maybe even a foray into 3D. Who knows?
I'd be curious to see how they translate that, that signature Terraria gameplay
Right.
into a 3D space.
Oh,
Maybe Otherworld could have been that bridge.
yeah. Yeah.
Blending in RPG elements and a different perspective, It's fascinating to think about what could have been.
It really is.
It really is.
And who knows, maybe some of those ideas will resurface in future projects, right?
True.
But one thing's for sure, with such a passionate community and a dedicated development team, the world of Terraria will continue to thrive in one form or another.
Well said. Well said. So for those listening at home, we've journeyed through the intricate biomes, we've crafted legendary weapons, we faced down terrifying bosses, all within the pixelated depths of Terraria. What stood out to you? What surprised you? Are you ready to jump back in or maybe even take the plunge for the first time? This has been The Deep Dive. Thanks for joining us on this subterranean adventure.